Bad Larry.
The variant contest isn't really a contest, is it? How do you compete with the screaming fiery flame of Jean Grey? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bad Larry Kingdom. I'm your host, Bad Larry. Today we are checking out X-Men number 31. Tony Daniel did an actual very good job on this cover, as I love the way he drew Beast. I love the fur details. I also like the way he drew Anomaly. And as you can see, there's a member that is clearly absent from this issue, Cyclops. So we'll see what this is all about. This title is issued Anomaly. Beast tells everyone this is a rescue mission. It's not an attack people mission, which I guess is why Cyclops is not part of it. But why is everyone else part of it? Magneto had the audacity to call Beast Hank McCoy or Hank. And Beast is like, I prefer to be called Beast in the field. And Magneto's like, fine, whatever. Call me Magneto all the time. I don't know why this is such a big deal to Beast. He introduces himself as Dr. Hank McCoy all the time. Anywho, I guess the point of the name is to introduce the aspect of Ben Liu actually wanting a field X-Men name. He said Jen got a cool nickname, Anomaly, and he's thinking about getting himself one, which he doesn't have yet. The gravity in this place is all hithery-tithery, upside down. Things are floating around. It's pretty clear what's going on, but the science X-Men team are here to figure it out, minus Cyclops. And we got a couple flat feet beat cops that are preventing anyone accessing the area. The beat cops don't look too impressed seeing the X-Men. They're like, well, you're definitely not Alpha Flight. Those dudes wear Canadian flags. What are y'all doing here? And here's my issue. Beast introduces himself as Dr. Hank McCoy to these two cops. So what is it? Call me Beast? Or to the humans now he's Dr. Hank McCoy? They're trying to be nice to these cops, saying, we're the Alaskan X-Men. We're cool people. Literally. Beast is going on and on and on and on and on about how his team is so perfectly built to help them out and figure out what's going on. Look at that cop's face. Does he look impressed? No. And the way that Tony Daniel drew Beast, he looking like a derpy llama. And what do you think these cops say to the X-Men? They say, hit the bricks, take off. Of course they do. Cops don't like to do anything or share any glory. They're control freaks. So Beast tried it, the diplomatic way, and now they're going to do it the X-Men way. I mean, they probably should have done that just from the beginning. They had to know these two cops weren't just going to let them traipse through the crime scene. Anomaly, and Beast, they have their little relationship. She tries to console him, saying, there, Big Blue, you tried your best. And Beast's like, it's never enough, though. I could never be good enough. I mean, this dude is a bit of a big baby. Well, this issue that they're dealing with out here is science-y. So Zorn can sweep for gravitational issues, and Magneto can sweep for magnetic issues, which is to him humiliating in his abilities. And to be honest, I'm not spoiling anything. Magneto doesn't do jack squat on this whole entire mission out here. Anomaly needs to use her heightened animal senses to try to track whoever's out here. And obviously, Kid Omega needs to do some telepathic tracking. Ben Liu says, what about me? And Beast is like, boy, you need to get out of the house. That's what you need to do. We just didn't want you stuck at home playing with the video games all day, little Ben. Magneto and Zorn yip yap about his RLDS diagnosis and ponders why his future self doesn't have the diagnosis and wonders, what he's going to do about it. Magneto is wondering if he's been intentionally weakened from someone or something from the future because, he knows he's a badass. He knows that he's the top dog. So he wonders if it's a planned attack. Meanwhile, Zorn has figured out there's some danger ahead. Danger, Will Robinson. Of course, as the X-Men Smarty Lab Smarty Pants Beast, he's the only one really able to work on anything experimental on to cure Magneto, but he's got his hands full right now. And this is what great writers do with characters or teams. They have them battle multiple situations on multiple fronts. So Beast is having to do this expeditionary mission, uh, learn about himself because he's from the past. His mind is in the future, so he's trying to catch up with all the technology that's out there. He's got a relationship with Anomaly that's growing, and he's having to deal with Magneto and his situation. And also, we know that Glob has been shot, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with that. So, everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. Magneto, Cannonball, it always can be about you, Magneto. And this is a great nature versus nurture example. The X-Men can train as much as they want in their danger room or practice when it's not on the field, but sometimes in the field is where you're forced to evolve your training. And right here, Beast is telling Anomalia, hey, you got to change. You can't fly around. It's too dangerous for you to fly around. So why don't you change into something else, some other animal that's not a flyer, and help us out that way? So in this case, it's not um, the nurture that is causing her to uh, evolve, it's the nature, it's the situation itself. Freaking white tiger lady, that's pretty sick. And what I do love about Anomalia's mutant power is that she adopts the essence of that animal creature. So a tiger, white tiger, is going to be more offensive, more aggressive, more wanting to kill something, whereas her bird form is more about taking flight and defensive posture. So that's a cool element of her mutant ability. And out of all of these powerful X-Men that are out there, Anomalia, Zorn, Magneto, the only one actually focused on the job is Kid Omega. And once again, he succumbs to a psi spike. This dude gets succumbed to these psi spikes more often than any other telepath I've ever seen or read in the X-Men, and he's supposed to be so powerful. Okay. This is one of my favorite images in the comic. Beast coming right at you. It's so well drawn, great movement, great coloring. And this is the Beast that I love the most, the one that's actually athletic as hell, bouncing around rocks, going down and using his agility and his strength, catching someone with one hand while holding on to a rock with the other hand, and keeping his glasses on his head the whole time. He doesn't need to always be in the lab coat with the lab uh, bottles and beakers. That's really just I think the small part of it. This is the coolest part of Beast. Well, all of that cool stuff may not be worth it. Him and Kid Omega about to be squished by a giant tree. Luckily, Anomalia was there to save them both using her new white tiger reflexes. I don't know why Beast didn't have those reflexes, but whatever. I'm not a big fan of the if then scenarios that occur just in one comic, meaning if Anomalia hadn't changed into this tiger thing, then Beast and Kid Omega would have been smushed. I mean, it's a bit forced. But I love the fact that Kid Omega doesn't acknowledge him getting knocked out, getting saved by Beast, or getting saved by Anomalia. Now, he doesn't care about any of that. He ain't giving nobody any types of praise. He's just giving the update. He got some bad news. When Kid Omega attempted to connect to the person that they're trying to rescue, well, his mind was booby trapped. We've seen this attack before when the X-Men went to go and rescue Ben Liu and Anomalia. Kid Omega is trying to explain. Beast doesn't understand. He's a little grumpy about it. But Kid Omega has to remind him that he's not the Beast that he grew up with. He's this new Beast from the past. And he says, it doesn't matter. He knows where the guy is. Follow me. We're going to go find him. And I stated before, it seems like Kid Omega is the only one that really needs to be on this expedition. He's the only one doing anything. Kid Omega explains that it's the same booby trap that was used on Ben Liu and on Jen Starkey, and he knows who it is. It's Cassandra Nova, 3K. That's who set up that booby trap. So it must be someone connected to them. And Ben Liu was like, "Oh no! Oh, I hate those people." You see, Cassandra Nova is the only mutant telepath probably powerful enough that's on the planet, as we know Professor X is off planet, to be able to set up those type of psychic booby traps within somebody. But after all the yippity yapping, Kid Omega has led the whole team to what they've been looking for down in this hole. So other than Beast and Anomaly saving Kid Omega, providing some sort of security, which he probably didn't need to have in the first place. He could have just been more careful himself. He's the only one that's accomplished anything so far in this little venture. It's freaking Schwarzschild, one of the Santo Marcos Six, one of 3K's X-Men. How did this dude survive that fall? Let me remind you what happened to him. Back in X-Men issue number 24, check it out if you haven't. Uh, the White Beast comes back from the past and tells everyone that Schwarzschild was going to betray the team sometime in the future. The whole X-Men, 3K's X-Men beat the crap out of him. We thought that they killed him, and they threw him off of their spaceship. Well, clearly he didn't die on that landing because he does have gravitational power. So maybe he slowed himself down, and now he's in some sort of protective vegetative state. But he not dead. Anomalia's reaction is appropriate. She is one of their projects. She was one of their people that they turned from human to mutant. And so she's got a healthy fear of them. Plus, as this white tiger, she's kind of on guard, ready to attack. Um, the X-Men, though, aren't killers, and this is what Zorn and Magneto and Beast have to instill into Ben Liu. Zorn is crawling down to heal old boy, and Ben's like, "Let him die! I hate that fool!" But the X-Men don't do that. They help people. They don't kill people, even if they're the enemies. Well, at least they try not to. Well, it's pretty evident that Ben Liu wants to kill Schwarzschild. He hasn't been trained. He's a regular dude who got turned into a mutant and has been hiding out with the X-Men. But he's, too old to have learned the values that the X-Men want to teach. That's why they have this school for gifted youngsters. So, whether you want to call it brainwashing or programming or whatever, that's what schools do is they instill a discipline and a mentality into youth that hopefully, if it's a good morality, they can take it into the real world and use it to do good. Well, Animalia and Ben Liu didn't grow up that way. They grew up themselves. So, and especially as Animalia, she's ready to rip this dude's throat out. And the writer, Jed McKay, we know he's Canadian. He loves to do these stories. I think that's why he put the X-Men in Alaska. So Alaska is literally, just right next door to Canada, a little bit north. And this is a way he can get his own Canadian Alpha Flight team into the mix, which is what we see. Oh, it's Department H. Well, we know that that's Alpha Flight, but nobody knows any Alpha Flight members. I mean, come on. Well, you got the Sasquatch, the Guardian. Who knows who's on the team anymore? Jed McKay is doing his best to try to create a resurgence of these Canadian mutant superheroes, but I don't know. The whole thing is a bit of a stretch to me. The science team isn't assembled for battle. that's kind of bull. You got Beast, you've got Anomaly, Zorn, Magneto. These four right there are all battle hardened. You got Zorn as a healer. Kid Omega is part of the field team. The only one that's not there is Cyclops. I mean, you guys can't go up against some Canadian Mounties, pretend superheroes. No offense to the Canadians, that's a joke. Anyway, the whole point of this story, it was thin to me. That's why I gave it a C minus. The Anomalia change from the Bird Girl to the White Tiger was very cool. I love that. But the whole her changing and immediately saving Beast, that was a stretch to me. I thought that Beast could have saved himself. The fact that Magneto was absolutely not needed on this mission at all, and basically Anomalia as well. The only one that did anything of substance was Kid Omega, and now the next issue we're seeing again probably no Cyclops, and they're going to have to duke it out with the Canadian Department H, maybe. I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think about the start of this little series.